Hey, this is Alan Curtis Meisner, otherwise known as the Dragonmancer, and of course, my assistants, the tortoise, the mouse, and the eagle. Soon enough, I will be joined by a wyvern the dragon, perhaps but that will be for another show. Until then, I would like to introduce you to a Chinese dragon. I figured it would be the most appropriate thing to show, considering that in a couple weeks Chinese New Year is coming up. I remember reading about this in the Enchanted World book collection, which it has kind of an interesting origin of the Chinese dragon, that they start their life as a carp. You know, those big, huge fish that you often see in meditation gardens in China and Japan and various other locations, sometimes even in the Inner Sanctum. 4,000 years later, the signs that they are about to become a dragon they eventually begin to emerge for the first time. And then a couple centuries later, they cease to be a carp and they ultimately become a dragon, starting to get horns very much like this one, and the tentacles kind of like a catfish. And of course, the trademark serpentine look that is the hallmark of dragons everywhere. Of course, this particular dragon is somewhat more serpentine than most Chinese dragons that I've seen. I even remember where I was visiting a college library maybe a year or two ago, maybe 3, 4. I can't remember exactly how long ago, but it was interesting enough. They had a children's book that had a couple of pictures, and they told about how the a dragon came to be relevant to the Chinese New Year. It's kind of an interesting tale about a village that I can't remember the name of the village or whether or not they gave the name of the village, but basically every year there was a dragon that would come and invade the village. And any boat that happened to be right in the path of the dragon was going to be immediately dispatched. And basically, after years and years of this, eventually the villagers decided that the best thing to do is during the weeks that lead up to the arrival of the dragon, which they call New Year, because it comes at least once every year, that they would pack up their things and flee to the hills. I'm going to go ahead and put my buddy away here. But anyways, one day there was one particular villager that ended up being left behind. And Buddha just happened to be passing through the town. He's surprised that everyone seems to be absent, except for this one particular individual. And so Buddha's asking the villager, what's going on and where is everybody? Is this town been abandoned or something? And the villager told the story about the dragon who comes year after year after year. And Buddha made an interesting suggestion. He suggested that they take fireworks, like bottle rockets, firecrackers, and that they light them ablaze as every year, and that they have a kind of a costume that's made to look like a dragon that several individuals can fit into. And so the villager passes along to his fellow townspeople, and the people think about it. They're like, yeah, we could do that. And so basically every year when the dragon came along, they would do just this, and it actually managed to keep the dragon at bay for numerous years. Eventually, this has carried over to other towns that apparently also had the same problem with the same dragon. And over time, it became a story. So that's kind of an interesting interpretation as to the origins of the dragon being relevant to New Year's. There, of course, will be many more stories like this told soon enough as I do research and find out. So, take care and have a nice day. Oh yes, and I figure I might as well give this greeting in advance. Gong Hei Fat Choi, which in Chinese means Happy New Year.